think I'm better than you. Nah, I'm just icy. Stand 10 toes and paint the haters try to indict me. Try to throw their hands up and they try to fight me. And I can't let you take my life. Think I'm better than you. Nah, I'm just icy.
Sup? Though, I got mine. Where we at with you? I just want to let y'all know, y'all may hear some farting throughout this whole video. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. Which I don't understand because like I just pooped, but my stomach's on 1,000. It's still on 1,000 right now, but it's weird and it's crazy because like when I finished pooping, I was like, all right, cool, like I'm done, like I felt good. When I sat down, all I heard in my stomach was, I heard, I was like, oh my God. But I don't have the urge to poop, but I have the urge to fart. So please excuse all of the farts that you may or may not hear in this video. And we got 2 jumps, we got 2 missing nightmares. It's a good night. It's a good night. What's the title of it? 3 true cemetery horror stories to give you, okay, we on it tonight. You got your snacks, you got your Cutter Buddy, got your Adidas. Well, all right. Right.
When I was 19, my friend Sean, who was a big goofball, came over to chill in our basement as he often would during the summer.
Right.
I remember he had a Coke bottle in his hand and I was eating Wendy's when he said we should check out that creepy little cemetery across town.
Well, we're done. We're done with that. End of that friendship, end of that any relationship whatsoever. Cut me off on all social medias. Cut the friendship. I don't ever want to see you again in my life. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Because why would you say some bullshit like that? You already know how I am. You already know how I am. And that's not how we rocking. That's not how we rolling. So, because you know how I work and how I am, you still ask me that about the cemetery and all that. You still want to, all right, nah, cluck you to the max. You can go ahead and check out the cemetery. I'm going to be right here. So when you leave, everything that should be locked will be locked. And best believe, when you leave, I will be checking the checklist. Hey, nobody checked the checklist. Hey, he didn't check the checklist. Hey, I checked the checklist. Hey, check the checklist. Hey, I fucked that up.
It was the most random idea ever, and I even told him that. Still, we had no school the next day.
So?
We knew exactly which cemetery he was talking about.
Wow.
I don't know if one should even call it a regular cemetery. It's just a small plot of land with maybe 100 tombstones at most.
Damn.
The tombstone's very archaic looking, and any time we'd pass, there would be no signs of anyone having come to visit within the last decade.
Damn.
The site probably dated back centuries, and it had this super creepy vibe to it because it was closed off by a gothic metal fence.
Wow.
And it was surrounded by woods on 2 sides, the road on one, and some old abandoned building on the other.
Yeah. And it's also you getting that feeling, that weird feeling, that like that cluck feeling. Also because of all of the ghosts and demons and spirits and orbs and just junks just around that junk. Just yeah, you just red flags out the ass.
Everything about it just gave scary vibes. It took a little persuading, but Sean managed to get me to want to check it out too.
Wow.
Ironically, it was a very cloudy, wettish kind of day. I guess conveniently adding to the mood. Sean pulled up his Honda to the side of the road. I told him to pull up more so it wasn't obvious. This was a low traffic road, so it would look kind of suspicious. He pulled up a few 100 feet down the road, and we got out and cut through the woods so that any potential passing traffic wouldn't see us entering the little cemetery. Hopping the fence in the woods was easy. It was maybe a 3 or 4 foot fence. Sean kind of took the lead on this since it was mainly his venture. He led us through the eerie little plot of land, and we looked at the archaic tombstones.
Wow.
They all seemed to be from the 19th century. The writing on some of them was illegible at that point. I know it sounds super dumb and cliche, but I couldn't help but feel like I was being watched constantly.
You are, definitely.
I started looking around the surrounding woods. I told Sean how creepy this was. I know, he replied. Still, with the feeling of being watched, I looked at the abandoned building next to the cemetery, at one of the windows. For a brief moment, I knew I saw someone standing at the window, even through the fog, smudge, and dirt on the glass.
Wow.
I casually either ducked or walked away from the window. I told Sean we were being watched by someone in that building, and he turned to look at it as well. Then he went to look.
No. Why would you tell Sean that? Sean is with the cluck shit. You're not. So when you notice, sus dude, right? That was your chance to go ahead and haul ass and get somewhere safe. But nah, you want to be a good friend and tell Sean what you just saw and who you just saw and all that. No, you should have just not said nothing at all and just went ahead about your business. Because, like I said, Sean is apparently about that cluck life and you're not. So, yeah.
To it. I told him don't. I said we should just leave before we get in trouble. I stayed still by the tombstone he was looking at while he walked around the building. And then he found a way in. He called me over, but I stayed put. Then I heard some loud kind of crack. So I looked in that direction, and there was this older man, probably around 55.
Sus.
Gray hair, had on a black raincoat. I believe he was wearing jeans, and he had a mustache. But that's all I really got of him. Then he opened his mouth and screamed. Not just yelled, he screamed, "Get out." He screamed it so loud, I thought I saw birds fly away from being startled.
Damn.
And just like that, I started to feel lightheaded, and suddenly everything went dark.
Possessed.
The next thing I remember was waking up to being dragged in the woods. I freaked out, thinking I was being kidnapped. But when I turned and got up, I saw it was just Sean. Sean was freaking out about something. He told me to follow him and run back to the car, so I didn't ask questions. As we ran through the woods, I heard something close behind me, and when I turned, I realized we were being followed by someone, so I ran even faster. We got to his Honda, and he basically put it in drive before the car even had a chance to fully start. When Sean was inside that abandoned building, he found a sigil of Baphomet painted on the wood floor.
Oh my God.
Basically the sign of Satan.
Hey, real talk. He's saying a whole lot of we stuff. We did this. We said that. We went here. No. You should have said it like, I did this. I went here. I did that. I saw that. I ran. Not we, not nothing. Sean should not even be nowhere near you. I don't know what. See? Because now he's leading you into this. Jesus, bro.
Around it were a bunch of freaky dolls with buttons for eyes.
Oh my
I didn't
God.
get to see anything else in the building because he heard the old man scream at me outside. He came running to find me passed out on the floor, and he saw the old man slowly walking over to me. He started to drag me away from the old man and into the woods. He actually literally picked me up and threw me over the fence to get me out. I quickly came back to consciousness, and that's when we ran. I had only fainted one time in my life, and it was at that moment. I don't know why I fainted, but it happening at a graveyard with some kind of satanic ritual building right next to it makes it that much stranger.
Wow. Wow, God damn.
My grandpa passed away a few years ago.
My
I was
condolences.
always very close with him. This past July on his birthday, I paid him a visit at the cemetery. The cemetery he and my grandma chose to be buried at was about an hour drive from my apartment. My family lived closer, so they all went to his grave together. I had to go separately.
Why? What?
It was a
No.
rainy, depressing day.
No.
There's nothing worse than visiting a cemetery on a gloomy day.
Yeah, it is. Going to the cemetery on a gloomy day that's raining, dark outside, cloudy, and by yourself. Don't get no more worse than that.
The gatekeeper at the gate asked for the plot number. I gave it to him and he let me in. It's a pretty big cemetery, and I'd only been there a couple other times. Not as the driver, though, so I had a hard time finding it. I didn't see many other people, if any, at the cemetery that day. I'm sure the weather had something to do with it. Eventually, I found his stone and parked my car in the grass to the side. I put some flowers down under his stone, stood there for a while with my eyes closed, and prayed.
Wrap it up.
When I finished my prayer, I opened my eyes and looked up. There was an old man standing about 5 rows of graves down.
You got it.
Directly across from me. He was looking right at me.
Wow.
I knew this man, though. It was my grandfather.
What the heck? Oh. No. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Hell no! My bad.
But no, it couldn't be. I rubbed my eyes and he was gone. Did I just have a spiritual moment? Or were my eyes and mind playing tricks on me? Either way, I got the chills and I had goosebumps. I was quite honestly freaked out. I got back in my car, said, "Love you, Grandpa," and drove off. I felt like I had a headache on my way home. Not sure why. I was the only car on Prospect Road, a quiet road with dense forest on either side. Commonly, there would be deer crossing here. As my car zipped down the road, I spotted someone on the side of the road coming up, which was odd. There were no sidewalks or a walking path on this road. I slowed down.
Why?
Couldn't be. It looks like my grandpa again.
Wow.
When I realized this, my heart dropped 1,000 feet, and I swerved the car accidentally. I desperately tried to regain control and come to a stop.
In my heart, no, if I was in your situation, my heart would have dropped way more than 1,000 feet if I saw my grandfather. That is like, my heart is dropping so low, me and Satan talking about, "What's up, man? How you doing? You all right?" Just, we having a whole conversation right now. That's how far my heart would have dropped if I saw my grandfather just, oh, God.
Luckily, my car didn't end up in a tree. Rather, just skidded out in the middle of the road until coming to a halt. I immediately looked back to where I saw him, and I saw a deer on the side of the road, looking at my car. My heart was literally racing. I was terrified. I was not well, and I needed to get home. I made sure no cars were coming and got back in my lane. I focused on the road as best I could, given what I had just seen twice. I felt weird the rest of the day. Not sick, but something wasn't right with my head.
Where are your blinds
I
at?
went to bed early after watching an episode of my show.
Where are your blinds?
I woke up at like 2 in the morning to my phone ringing.
Sus.
It was an unknown number. My heart started racing again. Any call at this hour couldn't be good news. I accepted the call and put the phone up to my ear. There was static on the other end.
Sus.
Finally, I said, "Hello?" More static. But what I thought I heard next, I couldn't believe. Just briefly, for maybe half a second, I thought I heard my grandpa's voice over the static.
What the yeah. No disrespect, but when somebody passes, I don't care how close you were to that person while they was living. I don't care about the relationship. Once that person passes, they gone. Like they out. You know? It may take some of y'all it may take y'all like a little, like, depending on how the relationship you had with that person that was alive, it may take you some time to realize that that person is gone. But after they die, like, that's it. They're on the other side. Okay? They need to stay on that side. For real. Like, you gonna see them. Hopefully. I don't really know how the other side works. But, you know, like, You got the living world, and you got the afterlife world. Two totally separate worlds. Like, they need to stay separate, like, for real. And whether that's your grandfather or not, this is what, your third cycle. Oh, all right. So for some reason, like, the camera just cut off on me. So the footage that I already have recorded, I'm waiting for it to come back. So, cause I don't want to restart this whole shit. Cause it's gonna basically be like I'm reacting to what I already seen. So, nah, I forgot where I was at. Yeah, so two different living world and the afterlife, they separate. They need to stay separate for real. Cause I feel like once they cross paths, that no. So, and what I say, he just like your third time experiencing your grandfather. I feel like that's way too many, and something. Oh no, man! Just watch it back and yes.
I tried to say hello again, but I was too shook. Every part of my body was actually shaking. Then the call cut to silence and ended. I called my phone provider the next day to trace the number. They couldn't. They didn't have enough data to trace it, apparently. Though I don't know if that was just bullshit or not. The events that took place that day and night were the scariest I've ever experienced. Do I think my dead grandpa was trying to contact me? I don't know, because that sounds ridiculous. You'd think if you experienced something like this, you'd be so full of emotion and joy. But no, it still terrifies me.
To be honest.
And I still don't know what to think or how to feel about it. Whether it sounds ridiculous or not, this happened. And I wonder almost every other night, was that really my grandpa on the phone? My friends and I were very stupid when we were teenagers.
Yeah.
I was like 17 or 18 when this happened. It was the month of October, and I wanted to do something scary in the spirit of Halloween.
Okay.
There's a small cemetery about 10 minutes from where I live. And when I was drunk with a couple friends, I said we should sneak into it. I'll make up some names for my friends, Ryan and Mike. We were at Ryan's house. He didn't drink ever. So when I came up with the idea, he was the one to drive us to the cemetery. Mike and I were really the ones leading this. Ryan was just along for the ride. But then again, he hadn't been drinking. Ryan parked in some parking lot across the street. It was a ghost town because it was past midnight at that point. We made sure no one was around to see us as we hopped the fence into the cemetery. It wasn't exactly pitch black out, but it was slightly hard to see more than 10 feet in front of us. So we were all using our iPhone flashlights. There didn't appear to be any night security in the cemetery, so we kind of dispersed from each other. Ryan seemed to be following Mike more closely. I could still see where they were because of their flashlights. I went off a little further on my own, and I decided I'd start taking a creepy video. So I started recording with the light still on, of course. I recorded a bunch of old headstones and the general eerie vibe of the cemetery at night. I didn't see Mike and Ryan anymore, so I started to go look for them, still recording. I looked at my phone screen and froze. There was a woman, dressed in a white gown or dress, I want to say, with long, gray-looking hair. She was looking down at the ground. I looked up from my phone screen to look at her in person, but she was gone. I started to back away. I looked back at my phone screen, and there she was again. Only now she was looking into the camera, or rather, looking at me. I looked up from the phone again, and could not see her once more. So I looked back down at the screen again, and there I could see her moving closer to me.
God.
I started to scream for Mike and Ryan as I sprinted away from that spot.
Cluck them.
I couldn't see their lights anywhere, and they weren't answering my screams. I had a feeling they were going to try to scare me, so I ran back for the fence of the cemetery to hop in and get out. I made it to Ryan's car and texted the two of them, saying they need to get out of the cemetery now. They met me at the car minutes later. We all sat in the car, and I showed them the video I took. They had the same horrified looks on their faces I did. Now that I was actually watching the whole video, I could see the moment the woman slowly lifted her head from looking at the ground to looking at me, and then she starts to move towards me. We could only see her moving for like a second or two before I start screaming in the video and running away. But the way she was moving, you could see no leg movement. It almost seemed as though she were floating to me. I have that video saved on my old iPhone 4S, but the stupid thing won't turn on. It gets stuck at the Apple logo. I don't want to reset that phone until I can get that video off of it somehow. My friends firmly believe the woman in the video was a real, living person who also happened to be in the cemetery that night.
Oh my God.
And me, having been the one to actually find her, and only being able to see her on my phone screen, well, let's just say I was never a believer in the paranormal until that night.
Holy shit. God damn. I mean, to be honest though, like, you being at a cemetery, that's like, I think that's like a personal hot spot for ghosts and spirits to just be hanging out. Like, I feel like that's just a hangout spot for them. So with that being said, like, I get it. You know, some people have loved ones that passed away, and y'all want to go to the cemetery and you know, just say a few words, I guess, or just revisit, or just say what's up or whatever. I know, I get it, you know? But don't be one of them people that just go to cemeteries just because, or you want to play around the cemetery because you bored or something. Like, no, that's not how we rocking. That's not how we rolling. Like, to be honest, like, that's not cool whatsoever. Like, even going to a cemetery and paying, like, your respects, or, you know, just saying a few words, like, okay, yeah, I get it. But then after that, after you say what you need to say, get the hell on. You know? Because the whole time you're there, ghosts and spirits are just on your ass. Like herpes. Just saying. I don't know why I said that, but yeah. So this whole, all three of these stories was clucked from the start, middle, and the end. Like, you're starting, like, you're at a cemetery. What the hell do you think is gonna happen? You need to go to the cemetery and say what you need to say, or do what you need to do, and just get the hell on, like, dead ass. Cause if you there longer than what you really need to be there for, then something's gonna happen. It is. It's just a matter of time. So yeah, that's on you. That's not on me. Oh God, but like that last one. Oh my God. Now I'm curious to see. I want to see that video. Like, I kind of want to see that video now. But like he said, like, it's on his old phone. So I don't really know when that video is ever going to go public, if it does. But I kind of want to see it. But anybody that you know that suggests hanging out or playing or being around or in a cemetery, you need to cut that relationship off at the base right then and there. I'm just saying, like, that person cannot be good for you. So yeah. Oh, cemeteries, that's not where it's at. It's not. But hopefully I get the other footage, because if I don't, like I said, like, my phone just cut off for some reason. So I was already recording. So hopefully I can get the first footage and add it to this. Because if I can't, then this is all y'all gonna get from this video. So yeah, like I said, like, I don't want to react to it like the first 2 stories again, because it would literally be like I'm reacting to the same shit. So yeah, my reaction wouldn't be as real or as authentic as if I was to, like, you know, like my original reaction. So yeah, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, but no, we're good. We're all right. We're all right. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy. My family.